This is going to be a story time about a pretty terrible dream that I had last night, or I should say this morning. So basically, there were these two or three, two witches and maybe a warlock, and I don't even know if that's what they were. They very well could have been other entities, but basically, they were subjecting me to all this filth. And when I say filth, I mean the filth you would find in a bathroom, the filth you would find in corrosion, mold, mildew, things like that. And the dream turned into waking sleep paralysis. And I ended up fighting really hard to get out of the sleep paralysis. I kept going back in and going back in, and I could still hear them talking to me as I was coming into the third dimension. And they put something on me, and I mean, I could feel it in my eye. I could hear them, casting whatever they were casting, and I just kind of cast, something right back. And the waking part of the sleep paralysis, when I came to, I closed one of my eyes and I could see, normal, and I closed the other eye, and I'm just like, that eye that was open, the lid was very low on that eye, so I could see. It was almost like looking through shades, not shades like glasses, but like shades on a window, like window blinds. So I took my two fingers from my right hand and I started to wind whatever it was, pulling it out of my eye and wrapping it around my finger like it was a spaghetti noodle. And so I'm pulling, I'm winding, and I'm doing this lying in bed. And then finally I just kind of flick it, towards them, and I basically return to sender. And I still, after waking up and doing that, I was still weakened. If you've experienced sleep paralysis, sometimes you end up falling back to sleep. There's a level of heaviness and exhaustion that kind of takes over. And I mean, look, this is a dress that my sister wanted me to wear to my brother's wedding, and I didn't wear it because it's all black, and I already have this little reputation for being, I wore so much black during my life, especially in middle school and high school. My mom really didn't like it, so I didn't want to wear uninterrupted black. I was already going to end up wearing black boots, so I wore a black dress with pink and green flowers all over it. That's not the problem. The problem is, because I didn't wear that dress and I planned on giving it back, I hung it outside of my closet, right? I had it hanging, and I have on a blanket because this is a mini dress that I got from Amazon, and it fits like an extra medium shirt, like what kind of size. But anyhow, I had this hanging from my closet on the outside because I'm like, I'm going to give it back to my sister. And I mean, I saw this dress come, and I'm going to hang it so you can see what it was doing. So I had this dress hanging here, and my bed is about here. So now I'm sitting in my bed. And I kid you not, this dress was like halfway to me, and I saw it go back to the wall. This dress was halfway to me, like approaching me, and went back to the wall. And you see the color of like the room, like it's not dark. So normally these things happen in the dark, and it wasn't dark. But because of that sleep paralysis and yada, 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 some spirits, they get real bold. And for me, I wonder if this is because I'm enclosing on my gifts. I had a spiritual reading by someone, and they were like, you need to call on the energy of Oya because there's something in the spiritual realm, like you have fighting to do, like you need to whoop some spiritual ass. So it's not even necessarily something human. They're like, you need to call on somebody because you got some people in your way. And so many times in my life, I'm like, oh, okay, I've got evil eye, and I've got, people's envy and hasad and people's jealousy all over me. And it's such a problem. And I'm just like, sometimes that can be something spiritual looking at you hating on you, deciding that there's, you're a target somehow. And so I ended up picking up that dress and taking it into the formal living room, which I don't know why I brought it back in here, but I'm definitely going to take it back to the formal living room. But it reminds me why, I mean, again, I have a Sufi background, conservative Muslims, according to their text, they don't like to have images in the house. And I was watching Strange But True Stories, right? And there is this man called the Hunter, and a woman had Chinese masks on the wall in a haunted house, and they could see red eyes coming from the mask during the haunting. And he was like, masks are a terrible thing to put in your home, in a haunted home, because you would hate for the entity to have a face other than its own. And then with that, they broke the mask, and then she saw something dark and shadowy, run across her living room. Which really shocked me, because when I'm looking at, this dress, it's unlike a mask. Clearly there's no face, but at the same time, because there's so much of a body, there's arms and there's torso, and apparently there's enough for something to just kind of jump in and attack you with. So, and you see there's a closet there. So, having that barrier is cool, because, depending on what is bothering you, some things can fling open a door, and other things can, barely, move a cloth dress. So, depending on the power that they have with them. But nevertheless, whatever they put on me, I pulled out of my eye and flicked. So I'm really happy. But now I'm like, I need some kind of an ancestor reading, because this is my ancestor altar over here. And you'll notice, like I had basically candles on every surface that I can put one on. And you can see only one burned with like an intense amount of wax left. And sure enough, that was Oya's candle. So she always kind of puts me in my place and lets me know I didn't do something enough or come better than that. But yeah, that was really intense. It was really intense. So whatever it was, I was able to get that thing out of me, but I'm just like, I need to get in touch with my ancestors to see, if there's going to be another attempt or a stronger attempt, or because I really didn't know what I was doing. I was literally emotionally feeling my way around the situation. I didn't know that I was going to pull something out of my eye and to the texture of, something like a noodle and be wrapping it around my hand. But I just kind of went for it intuitively. And when I tried to double check my eye to see if there was more inside of there wasn't. There was nothing I could wind around my hand. It was gone. So I took it out the first time. But the dream were some really nasty, really bitter, horrible older women from my ethnic group. So now I'm, kind of concerned if they're, I don't know. So that's the end of that story. Ooh, I just got chills. It's a little creepy. Did I leave anything out? No, I don't think I did. But they were also, I guess, related to the church. They were church women, but not quite, or at least that's the manifestation they took on. And I have a lot of that in my family as well. So, yeah, that's